Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City Council for December 13, 2016. Ms. Crull, would you just on the page of next item on the agenda is public forum. This is an opportunity for members of the public to speak to us on any matter not on our agenda. The time limit is 3 minutes. Does anybody wish to speak in public forum?
Sorry, oh, you're already running my clock. I'm Anthony Kelly. I've lived in 25 Cornell for 30 years now, and I'm going to give you some history of the sewage pump station. It was built only to service the Cornell subdivision at 100 homes in 1965. Since they on track that their dormitory sets certain upgrade, make all own guest house. I'm proud of added to it, and now of course the Las Hope Hotel is added to it. I was here about 2 months ago. The city was in the right of way for the Las Hope Hotel. So, and what I just did was set upon the sewage back to Main Street. Now we're going to go down the road track and turn into Bolton, so we can plug up the Crull. The plan called for a 6-inch line to 10-inch containment pipe, as outlined in an email from Mr. Palmer. That being installed, that was correct. Lost Hub couldn't open until the sealant was in place. I went down to Fulton to look at the project. The 6-inch line only had a 5-inch diameter. We already lost it inch on the pipe you're using. And today they couldn't provide the load. I'm a retired job contract for 3 years in Helena, and I have a lot of wineries and churches and homes, so I do know what I'm talking about. I question that 6-inch pipe as being adequate, and that is 5 inches really not adequate. On Tuesday, January 17, 2017, the CI is going to be for planning committee to have 3 more dormitories within their 23 students that are going to be there, which is also an impact system. I went to City Hall on Wednesday last week to see construction documents to make some changes in the specifications. The request in writing of Cole Creek Public Works Administrative Assistant to give it the counter lady her process. Then it goes to Ms. Cook. Finally, I look at documents. Why do you wait? Still in those documents. I don't know if this is the new way City Hall is done or not. Nick and I are deeply concerned that if all plan conditions are not met, the homes on the Canal are going to be dated with sewage resulting in environmental and public disaster. Also, in that email by Mr. Palmer, it said pump replacement or other modifications to the lift station are not needed. Then tell me why, for a capital improvement project, the wastewater treatment system, upgrading the Cornell pump station is number 8 on the list. Where are we, the citizens of Helena, paying for that pump station? We're letting these developers into it. They should be helping us cost, not us. And that whole thing of wastewater thing is $4.5 million. I request that you agendize this matter at your next regular meeting. And something happened today. Do the Las Cobas. Can I finish this just 1 second? Sure. There was an accident at the tunnel trees today, halfway through, and it was a friend of mine. The signage for that project is only partway into the tunnel. The people were standing on the bridge, and they run out and put up a stop sign for everybody when there's work in the street. This lady did not see all that, and of course ran into a car, and of course I told her, send the bill to the city, because nobody's watching these projects.
All right. We have your concerns.
Thank you.
We have your concerns in mind, and we'll certainly try to address them down the road. Any further public comment?
Mike Griffin, 1824 Park Street. All these major projects, there's some city ordinance or whatever that the neighboring people are supposed to be notified. Well, that notification is for 200 feet. I've had 3 to 4 major projects in my neighborhood, and I've never been notified one time just because I'm not within that 200 feet. You take the Grandview project, Culinary, Behringer's coming on board here with a major thing. I've never received a word from anything about any of these projects. If there's a cost for notifying people, it should be done by those major project people, and I think you should increase the 200 feet to one radius of a mile so the whole impact can be talked over by the whole neighborhood it's going to impact by. This 200 feet is a joke. The neighbors are not notified before it's all a slam dunk deal. You're passing hotels, you're passing the winery extensions, Culinary Institute dumping a bunch of stuff on our laps, and it's all in the sewer deal and everything. I have never been notified one iota time about this because I don't live within 200 feet of the project. Right. So I think you should increase the project radius to a mile, and if there's any cost or anything for sending letters out, whatever, the project people, the contractor should bear that expense, not the city, and they should be the ones to send it out, not city staff, use their time and everything. Just get it out to the people in a timely manner so everybody can meet on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do think the limit is 300 feet, but beyond that, of course, we always encourage citizens to follow closely the city news where major projects and what's happening is discussed. All right. Any further public comment? Then I'll close public comment.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Jump up. I was waiting to see if anyone else wanted to jump up.
All right.
My name is Marina Hoffman, and I've lived at 1355 Grove Court for 20 years. The St. Helena City Council, our elected representatives, approved the location of a large-scale wine bar. The wine bar is located in a school zone. The goal, as I understand it, is to attract 60,000 alcohol-consuming adults annually to the site. Potentially intoxicated adults with access to vehicles will exit the location directly into the midst of our children. This approval was made because we need money. The currently seated council has made revenue generation a top priority. Perhaps they've tuned us out because they think that we're not able to embrace that bad ideas are good ideas as long as they increase revenue. I want to believe that St. Helena has a bright future as a town, and by this I mean that this town will not be transformed into a playground for the elite, a town where no one will want to live, a town where the sense of community is only a memory. My great encouragement about this day is that a new trajectory will begin, one that includes the men, women, and children who live here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do have a goal-setting session in January, and I'd certainly encourage you to attend. Any further public comment? Okay, I'll close public comment and turn to reports by staff and City Council, future agenda items. We'll start with Ms. Phillips.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Mitz? Ms. Black? Mr. Hausch?
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Palmer?
I have nothing, thank you.
He's not even worried about the storms. Chief? Mr. Sorensen, anything? No? I can't see who else is back there. Ms. Crichton, I think I saw her.
Just have the Grinch at the library on Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
He's going to get a heart.
All right. And Chief Imboden? Nothing, sir. All right. I think I've spotted everybody, but maybe not. Then we go to presentations and public recognitions. And we have one, and it's for the city manager, and if she would come up to the podium. And we're going to start with a proclamation.
All right. And this was your idea, I understand.
All right. We don't get into hearsay. City of St. Helena Proclamation, honoring service of Jennifer Phillips to the City of St. Helena. Whereas Jennifer Phillips has devoted her professional life to public service in municipal government, serving California cities with distinction over many years. Whereas Ms. Phillips became City Manager of the City of St. Helena on July 22, 2014. Whereas Ms. Phillips managed with the help of exceptional staff of inherited and newly hired staff. Whereas Ms. Phillips tackled numerous seemingly intractable problems with keen intelligence, hard work, and profound knowledge of local government. Whereas Ms. Phillips demonstrated exemplary team leadership, earning her the acclaim of her staff. Whereas Ms. Phillips highlighted the city's unmet needs and the daunting challenges facing staff with objectivity, always taking the time to commend staff's ingenuity and caring work on behalf of the city. Whereas Ms. Phillips prepared the city's first 10-year long-range financial forecast, as well as an updated LRFF, enabling a far better public understanding of the city's fiscal situation, constraints, choices, and opportunities. Whereas Ms. Phillips' companion, Mammut, a greater Swiss mountain dog, was a soothing influence at City Hall, in time showing modest affection even for the mayor and the vice mayor. Whereas all in St. Helena wished Ms. Phillips felicity and success in her new position as City Manager of the City of Bothell, Washington. Now, therefore, in appreciation of dedicated and meritorious service, and with grateful thanks, let it be known that I, Alan Galbraith, Mayor of the City of St. Helena, issue this proclamation on behalf of the city with unanimous council direction that it be prominently displayed in the office of the City Manager, City Hall, Bothell, Washington. There's your plaque. And just a couple more items. We have a plaque for you from the city.
Oh, how beautiful. Thank you.
And we also have some books. And it's a 3-volume biography, and it's a 3-volume biography of a woman. And it's the only woman in history that deserved, so far, a 3-volume biography. Now, we all know by the time you're done, it'll be 4 volumes. But having said that, it's to keep you company in Bothell during the first few months while your husband remains in Santa Rosa.
Well, I'm alone.
And, of course, you can guess who it is. Okay. Eleanor Roosevelt. There you go. Okay,
and we also didn't want Jennifer to head to Washington without a little token of what we make here in the heart of the Napa Valley. So on behalf of the council members, thank you so much.
Well, the last time I stood here, I was accepting the position, and now I stand before you to say thank you for the last 2.5 years. Most of all, I want to thank my staff. We went through some difficult things together, but we hung together. We're a great team. I think we've served this community extremely well. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm excited about this new opportunity. It's something my husband and I have talked about for a long time, but I will miss my team. You are a tremendous group of people. I thank the council for the last 2.5 years. We went through some tough stuff together. I had to tell you a lot of bad news, and the council took it with grace and with kindness, and together we problem solved, and we got through some real challenges together, and I think that St. Helena has a bright future. I think you have a great team to go through that, a new council to look at new ways of doing things, and I wish you all the best. But most of all, I love you very much, my team, and I will miss you very greatly. And so thank you very much for this, and I will always remember my time here. Thank you. This may not make it to Bothell, but we'll try.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is a staff briefing by myself, and it relates to our search for an interim city manager. Since Ms. Phillips announced that she would be leaving the city, we have been engaged in seeking out an interim city manager. We have 3 experienced applicants for the position. The new City Council will interview these applicants in closed session on December 19th. I am hopeful that we will be able to make a selection on December 19th. The announcement will be made following negotiation of a contract. I anticipate that the contract will come before the City Council for its approval on January 10, 2017. We will be looking for a new city manager in the first part of 2017. The first step is to hire a search firm. The city has issued an RFP to that end, with proposals due on January 10, 2017. The new council will determine the precise process that we will use. My anticipation is that it will be similar to the process that the council used when it hired Ms. Phillips. My hope is that we will have a new city manager in place by early summer. So that concludes my briefing on that matter. And let me go back. That takes us to consent items. And as usual, any member of the council or any member of the public can ask that we take a matter off of consent, in which case we will go through the hearing process. I will read them off. (8.1) Receive and file fiscal year 15-16 annual AB 1600 report on development impact fees. And then the agenda contains a more detailed description, but I think that suffices for this purpose. It's a detailed, interesting report. 8.2, Triannual California Building Standards Code Adoption, modifying Chapter 15 of the St. Helena Municipal Code and updating a building permit and code enforcement process improvements. 8.3, consideration of proposed approval of a resolution adopting Administrative Policy P-FI-0006, a sheet policy for unclaimed money, and rescinding any previous policies or administrative memoranda which are inconsistent with Finance Policy P-FI-0006, a sheet policy for unclaimed money. 8.4, consideration of proposed adoption of resolution approving a professional services agreement with Frank's Janitorial Service in the amount of $220,770 to provide janitorial services to the city facilities for 3 years. 8.5, consideration of proposed adoption of a resolution authorizing the city manager to submit Grayson Avenue improvements and Main Street corridor improvements for the One Bay Area Grant-2. 8.6, consideration of proposed authorization for the police department to hire and train per diem dispatchers beginning January 2017 at a rate of not more than $30.56 per hour. Employ the dispatchers through June 2017 for a total of not more than $34,209.72, and use of general fund reserves for an amount not to exceed $34,210.
I'd like to pull that, please.
Okay. 8.7. Consideration of proposed adoption of a resolution to remove Appendix A, Section 9, Subsection B, page 42 of the City Employees Handbook, use of city vehicles, and replace it with the updated Appendix A, Section 9, Subsection B, use of city vehicles, dated 16 September 2016. 8.8, consideration and proposed approval of a resolution amending the rate of pay for fire department battalion coverage from the established rate of $50 per 24-hour period to $105 per 24-hour period, and establishing the 24-hour period to be from 8 a.m. to 7:59 a.m. for Resolution 2016-11. 8.9, consideration of proposed approval of a resolution accepting the certification of the vote for the November 8, 2016 general municipal election. So at this point, the chair would entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.7, 8.8, and 8.9.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Did you get that, Ms. Black?
Councilmember Pitts?
Yes.
Kroll?
Yes.
Doring?
Yes.
Vice Mayor White?
Yes.
Mayor Galbraith?
Yes. And that would take us back to 8.6. And the staff person on this is Chief and Bowden.
You want me to make a presentation, or do you have a direct question for me, sir?
I have some direct questions. I'm wondering what happens when the two dispatchers who go on leave come back. What happens to the two that are hired?
They would still be considered employees, but they'd be part-time, I believe temporary is classification, so they would work on an hourly rate when we had openings, hours that we couldn't fill with our regular dispatchers, and they're aware of that they're being, they would be aware of that. They'd be hired as an hourly, as-needed employee.
Okay, so we'd have to budget them in the next budget cycle?
Going forward, yes, if we were going to keep them. That's why I only asked for this through June of this year.
Are any of them bilingual?
Yes.
Speak to
I
that issue.
haven't hired anybody, but I've got applicants, and the applicants are bilingual in Spanish, fluent in reading, writing, and speaking.
Did you scour the budget to try to find a? The reason I'm asking is we have a sort of almost a reaction where we go to reserves first to try to find money rather than. And I assume you scoured the budget and tried to locate $30-something thousand in the existing budget and could not find it, or tell me a little bit about that process.
So the only place that I'm aware of that I could use that would be out of my general fund accounts, and I don't have any excess in those accounts. So I can't use COPS money to pay for employees or pay for salary. Okay. And I didn't have any excess in my budget.
Yeah, I'm not intending to pick on you or your budget. I'm getting more concerned that our reserves continually are what we look to fund these. I have no doubt that this is a need, so I just want to get past that. I understand that
I appreciate
there's a need for this. I'm looking at the budget and the future. It wasn't very clear to me what would happen at the end of their term when the other ones come in, but you're anticipating they would be hired on a part-time basis.
My hope is that they would continue to stay on as in a part-time basis, because we continuously have hours. Even if we didn't have the openings that I'm going to have, we would have hours that are being right now covered in overtime at time and a half plus benefits, which calculates a lot more than $30 an hour. And right now we're using our current employees and forcing them to work overtime hours to cover that. And so these employees would be able to stay on and continue to cover those hours at straight pay without benefits.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from council? No? Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you.
Are you ready to move the item? Does anybody wish to make a motion to approve the item?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Black?
Vice Mayor White?
Yes.
Councilmember Crull?
Yes.
Pitts?
Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Mayor Galbraith?
Yes. Okay. That takes us to public hearings. Item 9.1 has been put over until December 19th. Item 9.2, consideration proposed approval to approve the annexation of territory into the St. Helena Municipal Sewer District number, MSD Annexation number 130 at 1400 Bonita Avenue. Mr. Palmer.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This is another one of the sewer annexation mandatory hearings we have to have. The process, state process dictates that we have this in a public hearing. The owners at 1400 Bonita Avenue have a petition to be incorporated into the sewer district so they can take advantage of the recently installed sewer in front of their home that was connected by the I'm blanking. Magnolia Oaks development?
Magnolia Oaks, yeah.
Magnolia Oaks, yes. So
You must have had a bad experience or two there.
It was an arduous process, but the benefit is one of the benefits of that project is there's a whole neighborhood now of over 30 homes that have ability to connect to sewer and get off septic, and so this is the final step in that process for this resident. So we're asking that tonight that the council approve the annexation of this territory to the sewer district.
All right. Any initial questions by council? Does anybody wish to speak at public hearing on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve item 9.2.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Black?
Councilmember Doreen?
Yes.
Pitts?
Yes.
Crull?
Yes.
Vice Mayor White?
Yes.
Mayor Galbraith?
Yes. That takes us to item 10.1. recognition of outgoing council members Sharon, Crull, and Greg Pitts. Let me just begin here briefly. First of all, I have to reach into my bag. Although, when we get there, we're going to also ask to get them right back. So, but in any event, let me start with Sharon. Sharon came to the council in 2008, December. She's served for 8 years. She's been a strong, wonderful, independent voice on the council, and I've most enjoyed working with her, as I believe we all have. We've worked very well collegially together. And in recognition, we do have make sure, we have a clock. There will be a plaque that goes on one side of the clock. That's why we need to get it back, so the plaque can go in. But Ms. Black will take care of that. And then with respect to Mr. Pitts, Mr. Pitts has served on the council from December 2012 through December 2016, 4 years. Of course, I served with Mr. Pitts on the Planning Commission, and I've always had a wonderful cooperative relationship with Mr. Pitts. And as with Ms. Crull, Mr. Pitts has always sought to serve the best interests of the city and has given a lot of thought, deep financial thought at times, to various issues that have come before us, and has been a very instructive and fruitful member of the council, and you're going to be missed. Both of you are going to be missed.
Thank you.
Any other comments by council members?
I would echo everything that the mayor has said. I very much appreciate working with you both. One thing that I do note for the community and for me that's very important is that you both shared a passion and dedication to the city's economic sustainability. That will not be forgotten by me and the community. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to serve with you. Very much appreciate your keen intellect, creativity, occasional flashes of humor and humility, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you for your public service, and I hope that you both continue to serve in the community, and I know you will. Thank you so much.
You're left without words.
I don't know what to say. I'm going to miss you guys. But, yeah, thank you so much for your service, and I'll be seeing you on the other side, hopefully, an awful lot. So, thank you.
Well, thank you to my council members. It has been a real pleasure to serve with you, but also my prior council members. I see Ann Navarro in the back. It was a real pleasure to serve with her as well. I hope there's nobody else back there that I've forgotten. It's really been a pleasure to work with the staff. They've just been nothing but professional and have really taught me a lot about municipal government. And even Heidi back there, I've known Heidi since I moved here 16 years ago, it feels like. Every single member of the staff has really dedicated to the city, and I really appreciate it. It's made our job much, much easier. But I really also would like to thank the citizens of St. Helena. It's really been a privilege and an honor to come here twice a month and hear what everybody has to say, and to serve you in that capacity. So I really, really appreciate it. As much as I wish I was moving to Hawaii, I'm not. So I will be here, and I probably will be on the other side sometimes, Peter. But thank you very much.
Mr. Pitts?
I just got a few brief words, but similar to Sharon, thank you to the community first and foremost. It's been an honor to serve this community for almost 10 years, starting with the General Plan Update Steering Committee many moons ago, and then being on the Planning Commission, and now in the Council. Please pass the General Plan quickly. But it's been an honor to work with our staff, with past council members as well. Really a great team. I think we've accomplished a lot. Very proud of everything we've done over the past couple of years. It was a lot of hard work and effort, and I have I see a bright future for St. Helena and continued success as well. I will implore the community to please be gentle with our new council members. There's a lot of everyone has strong opinions around here, which is good. It's what creates greatness. But be gentle to them and make sure they get a fair shake coming in as the newcomers. And I will be around here as well, raising a family. And most importantly, I want to thank my family for all of their dedication, allowing me to dedicate myself to this community, and so many Tuesday nights and so much time and effort. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Guess I should have thanked my family as well.
All right.
Oops.
All right. Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's the clock back.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
A lot of people say it's a thankless job, but we got a clock, so.
All right.
Oh, we stand up?
Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor?
Sure. I'll allow public comment. Sure. By all means.
All right, I had to bring notes because I haven't done this for a while, thank goodness. So I'm not as good at speaking without them these days. So I could not resist the opportunity. First of all, it's very nice to be here. And some of you know I mean that in more ways than one. Right? Some of you will get that. I want to thank Sharon and Greg for the public service to St. Helena. I worked with both of you, and while we did not always agree or vote the same, I knew you had the best interests of St. Helena in mind all the time. And I think that's a big thing for the public to appreciate. Oh my, this is... So looking back at the council we served together, I think you need to remember some of the things that we did and then some of the things that you've done since then. Think about this. We struggled with the Great Recession, downtown business collapse, severe budget limitations, dilapidated infrastructure, city staff problems, 2 years of the most severe drought in California history and in decades, and a water rate increase, city layoffs, and more. So it was tough, right? But working together, we did a lot of good things. You guys can take credit for and be proud of adding a new water storage tank, wastewater treatment plant improvements, even paved a few roads. We need a few more paved, and by few, I'm kidding, a lot, all. We purchased the land, which is the Brinkle Self-Help Project, right? You guys can take credit for that. Committed hundreds of thousands to the Turley Affordable Housing Project. We reworked the city's loan that you can take credit for allowing the wonderful upgrades that we just recently celebrated to Stonebridge. And you can, as you recall, during the Great Recession, there were tough decisions. So we had to make layoffs to city staff, which was really tough. But never lost sight of the fact that we needed excellent city management. And so you can also take some credit for us hiring City Manager Jennifer Phillips, who did a fantastic job. Stop that. I know. It's like, one thing causes the next, dominoes. But we stayed, a team, and we worked together very well. And I think, I have to say, Bothell was pretty smart for hiring Jennifer within an hour of their deliberation, which is a sign to you. So, damn Bothell. And I mean that jokingly, Bothell. I also, so I think you should be really proud of what you did during your years. And I also want to say that during the last 2 years with this new council, you transitioned beautifully and worked together very well. I want to thank all of you for that, because as a resident of St. Helena, it's really important that we have faith in our council and that you guys work together and keep all of our best interests in mind. So thank you to the council and the staff for all of your good work. And I also want to wish that, can I keep going?
Sure, you can go for another few seconds. Sure.
And I also want to wish the new council members good luck and best wishes. It's a tough job. You saw here tonight, there are big issues that you're going to have to deal with on an ongoing basis. And sometimes there's no right answer. I think you all know that. Or there really isn't enough money. And we do have to make really difficult decisions. You'll be tired a lot, but it's also very rewarding. So, good luck. We're counting on you. You represent all of us now, so pay attention to everyone, because that's the way to do good things. So
I guess, just in closing, I really do hope that St. Helena and assume that we have a bright future and that we all work together. I hope you're on the other side as well, because you have incredible knowledge and a lot to offer. Thank you to the staff, to Outgoing City Manager Jennifer Phillips, and to all of us. Happy holiday season, and God bless St. Helena. I have to say that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Any further public comment? Oh, no, we're still on 10.1. Okay.
Almost.
All right. All right. Then we'll close the comments with respect to 10.1, and we'll move on to 10.2, but I think it's at this.
We're agendized to take a brief recess.
We take a brief recess at this point. Okay. Very good. So let me reconvene the meeting of the City Council. We're at item 10.2. This is where we administer the oaths of office. Is there any public comment before we get to that? Please take the podium.
Amy Martinson, Napa. I came tonight to see the new council members be sworn in, and I'm very excited to see that happen in a few minutes. But I was surprised that they were at the end of the agenda since the election was certified on December 5th, and it's December 13th, and I'm sure their constituents would want them to make decisions as soon as possible, and decisions were made tonight that they didn't have a chance to weigh in on. And so I'm just wondering, tried to find your bylaws to find out what your procedures were for bringing in new members, and I couldn't find your bylaws on your website. And so I'm wondering, where can I find your procedures for bringing in new council members and when that should happen in the meeting?
Is there any comment from staff on this, Mr. Brown?
I would have to review the city's, as I recall that the city has adopted rules of procedure for meetings, and I don't recall that those address this issue at all. And that's found in a resolution that the city clerk can get you if you want to get that after the meeting, or sometime you could make a request for that. So in the absence of anything governing this or that issue, it would be governed by state law. And I believe also the city has had a practice, at least in the last election, of doing it in this manner. In other words, putting the swearing in of the new members to the end of the meeting at which they were to be sworn in. I don't believe that there's a law that governs that one way or another, but I honestly haven't been asked to look at that, so I don't know the answer.
So, okay, thank you. So I guess I think that should be looked at. And again, once the decision, the voters have spoken, I think they should, if it's possible, they should be at the beginning of the meeting so they can begin to weigh in as soon as possible. And then second, maybe consider putting your bylaws online so people can access them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further public comment before we swear in the council members that were recently elected? Okay, Ms. Black.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm speaking as a resident and a planning commissioner. I just want to say it's a bittersweet victory for the planning commission that Mary is going to be on the city council, because I just want to say I will miss her so very much, and having her expertise and her all her great knowledge to depend on the planning commission. And I also remember when I first met Geoff, he was sitting on the other side and sketching, and he actually gave me one of his sketches as I left, and that was years ago. And it's just really heartening to have followed his interest in the community and in becoming someone who could serve the community. His global county perspective that went beyond just the city of St. Helena, and other unique ideas that he has brought before the Planning Commission and the City Council since that time. So I just wanted to congratulate both of these new City Council members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other public comment? All right. I'll close the public comment and we'll go to the swearing in.
Mayor Galbraith, if you could come forward. If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Alan Galbraith,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that I will
bear true faith
bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will,
well and faithfully
well and faithfully,
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter. Thank you very much.
Now, if I could have Mary Koberstein come forward. You could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Koberstein,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will
that I will
bear true faith
bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Geoff? If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Geoff Ellsworth,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will
that I will
bear true faith
bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Good. Now, both.
Geoff.
I got to take one of these because the big ones hurt my back, so I got to take one of these guys.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So the next item is the new council members are seated. They are now seated. And the final item on our agenda is the naming of the vice mayor.
Welcome aboard.
Yes,
Thank
welcome
you.
aboard, by all means. Final item is the naming of the vice mayor, and the mayor names Vice Mayor Peter White, vice mayor. And with that, the meeting is concluded. Thank you very much, everybody.
I need a vote. No.
I don't believe a vote is required. A vote is required. Oh, is there a second? Okay.
Second.
Ms. Black?
Mayor Galbraith.
Yes.
Councilmember Doring.
Yes.
Councilmember Koberstein.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellsworth.
Yes.
Mayor Galbraith.
Yes.
Oh, don't I get to vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Vice Mayor White.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations.
We are adjourned?
Yeah.
Okay.